roommates, I think the first day of college you kind of just get a sense of what it's going to be.
So last semester was the first time I dormed, and I did a random roommate because I didn't know anyone. And she was a senior, and her friends had graduated, so she was also doing random. And when I first met her, I was like, wow, like I looked all the way up at her because she was 6 foot.
If the person looks like they haven't showered in a few days, it's going to be a pretty long semester.
My side would be completely clean for like 5 days straight. And then within 2 days, it would be a mess. But then I would spend like an entire day cleaning it, and then it would be perfectly clean.
My friend, he goes by this: if I can have a slice of pizza with the guy, then you're probably good. Also, if he doesn't murder people, that's probably a good thing.
No really loud music while I was trying to do work, or we would pretty much try to turn the lights out at a similar time before we would go to sleep.
Roommates, something that you always had to agree on. It would be to sleep with clothes on. I could not tell you the horror stories that I've heard from my friends of you waking up and your roommate has clothes on the floor, and you're adding up all the clothes. You see, okay, there's sweatpants on the floor, I see a shirt, and then you start seeing these things like boxers and an underwear on the floor, which under those covers something horrible is going on there. It's postcode, don't do it. Dorming, the rooms, they're very nice, and you wouldn't think that it could get nasty until, of course, you go into the bathroom.
Hygiene is that's a funny topic on campus.
The guys' bathroom in all the dorms, at least the ones that I've been into, are, I hope I can use this word, hell. It's just hair, random hair.
I feel like everyone looks like they're very hygienic, but then the bathrooms tell a completely different story.
There'll be a whole floor of people with black and blonde hair, then you'll see like a bunch of red hair in the sink. It's just very sketchy.
Like when you walk into a girl's bathroom, like it's hit or miss with the stalls.
Oh, and the stalls itself is, I'm certain that's where evil comes from.
When you're rushing, you don't really have time to check, which stall is good and which stall isn't. And it would be just your luck that you'd walk into that one girl's stall, but you didn't even have time to check it.
I don't think people have been to the stall to clean it since like 1971 or so. It's a horrible experience, and I don't know how they do that every day. Oh my Lord. You really take for granted the clean stalls in your life until you've been into a post-dorm.
Now you turn around when you go to flush the toilet, and it's like blood like all over the seat. It's just like, come on, girls, like.
And then on the sinks, occasionally, there's blood. I don't know. Where's the blood coming from? Somebody explain that to me.
Come on, we're too old for this. Way too old for this. Don't be that girl.
Which is pretty much all the nasty, at least the men's, it's just all the nasty parts of being a man, all pushed into one like small room.
It's right next to every single bathroom on campus. I swear it is. Don't take your jerk chicken and throw it away in the bathroom. So every time I go to the bathroom to brush my teeth in the morning, or when I use the bathroom just to come and use it, it smells like jerk chicken.
And there'll be a whole floor of people with blonde and brown hair, and then you walk into the room, and there's gray, there's red hair. It's absolutely, you have no idea where this could possibly be coming from.
Honestly, I guess I prefer it to smell like jerk chicken than not, some fish or seafood in a sense. And that's what it's for, Then flies come in there, and you go to the bathroom to get clean, so why try to make it dirty? Come on, man.
When I told you that the bathrooms were hell, it doesn't even come close to dorm parties. As a guy, you have to go to them because that's where the women are, but they are the most sweaty areas of any college campus. And you'll bump into people, and you'll get all of their sweat over you.
Don't expect air conditioning either. It's always hot as hell in there.
And occasionally, it will be more than a bump. You'll completely hit into someone, and it's probably one of the most uncomfortable situations you could be in, because for the rest of at least the week, you're gonna bump into that guy on campus, and you can just see in his eyes that he's like, this guy got his sweat all over me. Don't be gross.
And if you have to go to the bathroom, Don't ever expect there to be any toilet paper because it won't be there.
It's inevitable. You're gonna go to one of the Hofstra bars eventually.
When I first came here freshman year, I heard about penny beers. Beers for a penny, like, that is just like the best deal in the world, like. And it's just the best deal in the world. Last semester, I finally went, and I didn't even get a beer. The bar is just crowded and filled with people, and then you got everyone like throwing pennies at the bartenders, and there's only 2 bartenders, and it's this huge, giant bar with people packed around it, and then it's packed like it's crowded around the perimeter of the bar, and then there's rows of people behind those people at the bar. It's like so ridiculous. I got there like around 10, and I was at the bar the whole entire time from 10 to 11 trying to get a beer, which I never got. And then also, it's kind of similar to dorm parties because it's a sweat box. It's a hot box, hot as hell. They have like a little outside area, but I mean, if you don't like cigarettes, that's all they're doing over there, smoking cigarettes. So it's not really fresh air. Penny beers, not the best experience.
One night when I went to McKeeves, they were giving out the beer at the bar, but there was a table there handing out beer too. And then at one point, my friend bumped into another person, much like the dorm room parties. And the guy to my friend said, "Looks like someone can't handle their alcohol." To which me, in a drunken fit of rage, flipped the table over and "My friend can't handle his alcohol." I got kicked out. I'm not allowed back at McKeeves now. Be that guy.
For me, they don't exist. Quiet hours is just like one of those laws that people would say that are just meant to be broken.
From what I hear, they're not quiet at all.
If I did dorm on campus, I'd be that kid in the hallway that has the door open 24/7, blasting the weirdest music you could ever think of, or the weirdest playlist. Like, it'll go from Daft Punk Doing It Right to Pharrell, So Ambitious, then to Blink-182, and then dubstep, Deadmau5, like all that shit.
A rule of thumb, I guess, to not do something to destroy your roommate's sleep schedule. You know, don't be blasting Biggie right in the middle of the night at 1 in the morning when your roommate has a midterm the next day.
If you really want to get quiet, go in Suffolk, but you probably won't have a social life.
Phone talking after 12 should be taken outside. Nobody wants to hear sexting or sexual conversations, obviously. Pretty much, there's a time limit. I'd say midnight is probably the best time.
I would be that person if I did dorm, but I can understand how it would get frustrating for the other people, you know, but I like my music.
No good conversations happen after midnight, by the way. Now this term should not exist between people of the opposite sex, because my first day of school, first day of freshman year, I was in English class with a woman, and you know, our first assignment was to write a 1-page or a couple paragraphs describing who you are as a person, so the teacher could get a general sense of who you were. So right after that class, it was common hour, and I'm sitting down, and a girl that I was talking to sits next to me, and she's like, "So Tom, how about that paper?" She's like, "Do you think maybe tomorrow after school you want to come over to my house and you could help me write the paper?" And I realize now that that's obviously she's hitting on me and she wants me to come over to her house. But at the time, I didn't really piece it together. So I just said, "How can I help you write a paper about yourself? I don't even know you." But luckily for me, I later found out that she's a whore. So, dodged a bullet there.
Once you see one pretty girl and there's another one walking down the hallway, you just missed it because you were too busy staring at the other one, and this one is better than her, and she might even be more sane than her. Honestly, there's a lot of pretty girls out there that are a little,
It's always really nice to have a friend and to spend time together, but don't be that overly clingy guy. That's even worse than being a clingy girl.
Specifically freshman guys, my one advice that I could give you, do not wife up a girl your first semester. Because due to all the alcohol and drugs that you may or may not be doing, it will influence your brain and make you think that, oh, this is a good idea, I should totally just commit to a relationship my first semester. Because throughout your entire 4 years, you will see her on campus after you find out that she's crazy, and it will be the most uncomfortable situations you've ever had in your life.
You never see a person around campus, you hang out with him once, and then you see him around campus all the time after that.
Just because you have that freedom, like, and you see all these girls on campus and stuff like that, just don't go after everyone. You gotta sit back and scope the scene, because you know what it is? It's funny on campus, especially here at Pulse. You know, every semester, my friends leave. I make new friends, and then they just leave. They just, every semester, this campus looks completely different. So, like, I would say, like, just really scope the scene and check everything out.